You open your eyes to the hush of pre-dawn, in a world that hasn't yet learned the word alarm clock. The stars are still clinging to the sky above the Yucatan Peninsula, though they're starting to loosen their grip. The air is thick and warm, with a faint scent of night flowers and wood smoke curling softly around your nose. You're lying on a woven mat inside a modest thatched home. The roof creaks a little. Someone stirs nearby, a child, or maybe a dog, or possibly a chicken that's been promoted to roommate status. It's too early to tell. Outside, the village of Yaxuna is breathing slowly. Nothing is rushing, not even time. That's the thing about the Mayan lowlands. The sun might rule everything, but it takes its time getting started. You can do the same. You're here now, in the days before cities had concrete or clocks, before anybody needed to check their inbox before breakfast. And tonight, we're not here to learn fast facts or thrilling conquests. We're here to fall asleep, preferably before we even get to the end of the day. So take a breath, maybe stretch out a little. If you're feeling bold, you could even hit the like button. Maybe subscribe if you'd like more journeys like this. We wander through time together here, quietly. If you're still awake, let me know in the comments where are you watching from and what time is it there. We may be separated by centuries, but for now, we're right here together. Now let's ease into tonight's journey. A woman stokes the fire in the center of the house. Her hair is thick and woven in braids, with bits of jade and clay beads tied in. She hums something low and repetitive while pushing maize kernels into a grinding stone. Her hands move in soft, practiced circles. She isn't in a hurry. No one here is, not even the sun. You hear the soft grating sound of stone on stone, the whisper of corn becoming masa. The meal will be simple: tamales wrapped in leaves, a bit of squash, maybe a dab of honey if the bees have been generous. The morning doesn't begin with sugar or noise or caffeine. It begins with repetition, with motion, with rhythm. Across the dirt path, another home is stirring. A boy untangles himself from a hammock. He's 13, which means today he'll carry water, sweep the plaza, and try not to let the dog follow him to the temple again. He scratches his neck and mutters something about mosquitoes. He says it every morning. They say it back. Nearby. The priest is already awake. Of course, he always is. He sleeps little and dreams often, a thin man with a face like carved wood, and teeth filed into faint points, a sign of status, of wisdom, or maybe just a way to look interesting at meetings. He lights copal incense, and the smoke drifts lazily toward the ceiling beams. It smells like the inside of old trees and clouded memories. The spirits, he believes, prefer mornings like this, cool, thick with scent and filled with promise. The plaza outside is empty now, just a scattering of footprints and dew. In the middle, a low stone altar sits quietly, half-shadowed, as if still sleeping. The gods don't speak loud in this village. They whisper in vines and fire and birdsong. Someone, somewhere, yawns. You probably won't make it through this day. That's fine. You don't need to. The old woman offers a folded tamale to the household god, nestled in a corner niche. He's a squat figure made of clay, eyes wide, arms up, like he's perpetually surprised by his own importance. She whispers something to him that no one else can hear. Maybe thanks, maybe gossip, The village is beginning to exhale. You walk outside feet bare, the packed dirt cool beneath your skin. A lizard darts away. The sky turns faintly gold. Birds start to scold the morning into action. And somewhere, far beyond the trees, the city of Koba is already humming to life. Asterisk, but we'll stay here in Yaksuna just a little longer. Here, the days are wrapped in patience. The air is thick with small stories. Nothing explodes. Nothing shouts. And everything has time to be what it is. Asterisk, now listen to the wind push through the palm leaves. Let it rustle against your thoughts. There's still a long way to go. But for now, just this moment. Warm breath, old stone, and the smell of corn on the fire. Asterisk, you walk toward the center of the village, where the wide plaza opens like a held breath. The sun is higher now, but it's still polite. It peeks through the trees instead of barging in. The earth beneath your feet is firm and rutted with the memory of many steps, children running, elders pacing, dogs circling, chickens in slow, hopeless loops. Asterisk, a young woman carries a water jar on her head, perfectly balanced, as if gravity simply gave up trying to surprise her. Her shoulders are straight, her feet light, and her eyes scan the path with a casual grace. She nods when you pass, barely moving her neck. She's done this before. Asterisk, there's music drifting in from the direction of the ball court. Not loud, just a sleepy rhythm tapped on turtle shells and wood, like someone tuning the morning. Boys are practicing. The game today is just for training, but still they'll give it all they have. The ball is solid rubber, heavier than it looks. It bounces like something alive. Asterisk, no one's losing their head over this match. That only happens during certain festivals. Even then, the stories are hazier than Hollywood likes to admit. Today is for sweat and laughter and bruised elbows. A good day to learn balance. Asterisk, the village scribe sits nearby beneath a low canopy. His fingers are stained with pigment, and he's muttering about how long it takes bark paper to dry. A few codices lie beside him, thin and carefully painted. His job isn't just writing. He captures dreams, seasons, debts, harvests, and gossip with equal care. He's currently sketching a stylized bee because someone reported a swarm near the temple. This could be an omen, or just an inconvenience. Asterisk, you wander past him toward the small market stalls. They're modest woven mats laid on the ground, with piles of squash, cacao beans, chilies, and thread-dyed cloth. The vendors speak gently, their voices blending with the breeze. Bartering here isn't loud or dramatic. It's a polite tug of war between neighbors who already know how it'll end. Asterisk, a toddler lurches toward a basket of dried fish, is intercepted mid-waddle, and bursts into loud but fleeting protest. Life continues. The woman next to you is carefully inspecting obsidian blades, not because she needs one, but because her cousin made them, and you have to at least act interested. Asterisk, in the center of the market, a storyteller begins to speak. He has one eye slightly closed, not from injury, but because it makes him look more mysterious. He's not telling myths today. He's reciting the tale of the rain that came too late, and the goat that never returned. The children love this. One, so does the goat owner, who has turned its disappearance into a minor celebrity moment. Asterisk, remember that boy from earlier? The one who grumbled about mosquitoes. He's now hauling a large jug of water toward the temple. It sloshes. He's not thrilled. But when he passes the storyteller, he pauses, forgets the weight, and listens. The storyteller raises an eyebrow and shifts the narrative slightly, just for him. It's a small, clever gift. Asterisk, and now, near the edge of the plaza, there's a commotion. A few elders are discussing the calendar, or maybe arguing. It's hard to tell, since they're all smiling and talking over each other. The long count, they say, needs recalculating. The stars were slightly off last night. Or maybe it was someone's eyesight. These things matter here not because the world will end, but because the world deserves attention. Asterisk, in the distance, the priest watches. He holds a small bowl of flower petals and crushed limestone. His rituals begin at dusk, but preparation is everything. He notices a bird flying strangely and makes a note with a stick in the dirt. The gods often speak in code. Asterisk, you find yourself back near the hearth again. The tamales are gone, replaced with something sweeter, roasted plantains and a bit of honey. A quiet feast. The smell is thick and slow and sticks to your fingers like memory. Asterisk, another hour passes, or maybe two. Time here doesn't tick it. Drips, you feel it slide, not strike. Asterisk, the shadows shift. The jungle hums. The marketplace hums softer now, wrapped in the comfort of spent conversation. Asterisk, and above it all, the sun finally decides to shine full, like a proud guest arriving fashionably late to its own ceremony. Asterisk, you yawn. It's okay, that's expected. Let your shoulders sink. We're not even halfway through the day. There's still much more to drift through. Asterisk, but for now, just listen to the breeze playing with leaves like lazy fingers over a harp. The world is warm and the gods are whispering. Somewhere above the trees, asterisk, everything here is still waiting. So you can too. Let it wait for you. You find yourself walking a shaded path now, following the boy with the water jug, his second trip today. The clay pot is half empty, sloshing against his back. He mutters something dramatic about being the most cursed child in all of Yaxuna. But he says it every time. It's part of the ritual. Ahead of him, the temple rises slowly from the ground like a sun-warmed dream. Its limestone steps cracked by centuries of rain and roots. The jungle has tried its best to reclaim the place. Drape the stone, moss softens the edges, and birds nest comfortably in sacred crevices. But the temple still holds its dignity. It knows it was built with care. It remembers. You walk slower now, out of respect or sleepiness, or maybe both. The temple isn't grand by modern standards. No gold, no neon signs. But it was made to last, not just through weather, but through silence. The kind of silence that settles between words. The kind that lives in early mornings and late prayers. Inside, the priest is arranging offerings. Bits of fruit, feathers, and the good kind of cacao beans, not the ones they use for bitter drinks, but the kind you save for ceremony. You watch him draw lines in ash across the floor, marking the directions: east for the rising sun, west for the descent, north for ancestors, south for rain. The center is left untouched. That's where the gods pass through. He speaks in a low voice, barely more than breath. Not because anyone's listening, but because someone always is. Outside, the boy finally pours the water into a shallow, carved basin. It catches the light and reflects the temple stones like they're floating. He sighs dramatically. The priest doesn't thank him, but he nods. That's all that's needed. You settle on a low step. The heat is thicker now, pressing gently against your skin like a warm blanket. A woman nearby is weaving, her loom stretched between two posts. The thread is dyed in soft reds and greens, made from crushed insects and leaves boiled into color. Her fingers move with instinct, pulling and knotting, weaving not just fabric but story. Each pattern speaks a line for rain, a zigzag for mountains, a spiral for time. You don't need to understand the code to feel its rhythm. Further up the path, a small group of children are learning numbers. Mayan numbers, of course, dots and bars, stacked neatly in the dirt. The teacher is patient, letting them puzzle it out with fingers and pebbles. One of the younger girls insists that a grasshopper should count as a number. She may be onto something. Above all this, the jungle rustles, not with menace, but with age. It leans in, listening, always half involved. In village affairs, a toucan lands nearby with the kind of confidence only birds have. It makes a noise like a rusty gate and immediately poops on the plaza. A sacred moment, as always. You step through the shadows of the temple and catch sight of an old man seated on a carved bench. He's pressing wet clay into a mold, something decorative, maybe a lid, maybe an ornament. He hums tunelessly, stopping now and then to examine the cracks in his fingertips. Clay does that. So does time. He tells you that the mold is for a censer, the kind used to burn incense during the equinox. The equinox matters here, not because it's in a textbook, but because the sun shows up precisely where it's meant to. The temple catches it, frames it, drinks it in like a blessing. It's not a miracle, it's just architecture. But that's kind of the same thing. A girl with a bundle of wildflowers walks by. She tucks a few into the old man's basket. He doesn't thank her. He's already humming again. The heat makes your limbs heavy. Not uncomfortable, just loose. Like someone softened all the edges of your day. You close your eyes for a moment and hear the temple stones creak slightly as they warm. Not all stone is silent. Some of it remembers footsteps and prayers, and things whispered just once. The priest finishes his arrangement and stands still for a moment, listening to something only he can hear. Maybe it's the gods. Maybe it's just the birds. Maybe they're the same thing. The shadows start to shorten now. The day is tipping forward, but no one rushes. This is a place where even time walks barefoot. You stretch your toes. A beetle climbs across the step in front of you like it's headed somewhere important. You let it pass. It's a good day to do nothing, or at least to do it slowly. You walk back toward the plaza, the temple behind you. It doesn't say goodbye. It never does. Temples just wait. That's their job. The village hum is softer now, like it's paused for breath. You could do the same. Let the heat hold you. Let the stillness speak. We're not in a hurry. The jungle never is. It's mid-afternoon now. The light has gone golden, brushing every surface with a sleepy kind of approval. You find yourself near a grove of cedar trees, tall and straight, their roots rippling out like veins of the earth. The Mayans believe these trees connect the worlds, above, below, and right here. They aren't just trees. They're cosmic telephone poles. A boy leans against one, chewing sugarcane and pretending not to notice the girl braiding his sister's hair nearby. He's failing at both. The girl ignores him perfectly. She's humming. You walk slower through this part of the village. The ground here is more forgiving, padded with leaves and centuries. A woman is mixing pigment near a low wall, grinding charcoal with a bit of oil. She's decorating a patter, big one, probably meant for cooking stew or fermenting something ambitious. The pattern is geometric, repetitive, slightly crooked. That's how you know it was made by a person. Nearby, A man is shaping stone with a wooden mallet. He isn't carving art, just shaping a new lintel for a doorway that keeps sagging. He grunts softly every few strikes, not from pain, just agreement with the universe. Yes, things break. Yes, they can be fixed. You sit beside him for a moment. The shade is kind here, and the breeze filters through like a rumor. Somewhere in the distance, drums begin. Not loud, not urgent. Just a soft, steady rhythm and invitation to remember. You follow the sound to a clearing where dancers are preparing. They move slowly now, warming joints and tying beads around their ankles. The beads click with each step, like tiny seeds applauding. This isn't a grand ceremony, just a practice for one. The big ritual is still days away, but they rehearse with reverence, not because someone might be watching, but because the gods always might be. Their bodies move in patterns older than language loops and turns, steps that mimic rainfall and fire, gestures pulled from wind and flame and bone. A child joins in, wildly offbeat but completely committed. An elder corrects him with a touch on the shoulder, not a scold, just a nudge. The rhythm is bigger than any of them. You lie back on a patch of moss and let your eyes trace the motion. The dancers blur slightly in the sun. The drums slow. The breeze lifts a leaf and sets it spinning. You think about the calendar, they keep the one with 260 days. Not like yours. A sacred calendar. It marks time differently, not in months or meetings, but in meanings. Each day has a personality. A fate dot. Today is a good day for dreams. The scribe mentioned it earlier, between complaints about ink. A day for dreams and planting. Things that aren't meant to grow quickly. A few vendors from the market arrive with food maize cakes, roasted squash, and something suspiciously spicy that causes a round of polite coughing. Someone offers you a taste. You pretend to be brave. They pretend to believe you. The sky begins its long exhale toward evening. The birds change shifts. The shadows yawn. Someone nearby is singing a low, winding song with no words. Just notes, bending like smoke. You close your eyes again, just. For a moment, maybe longer, the earth beneath you is warm. The music is soft. No one is calling your name. There are no notifications, no schedules. Just a sky and a drum. And a day slowly folding itself toward night. You are very far from modern life and very close to something else, something older, and older things have time. They'll wait for you. You wake if you were ever really asleep to the scent of tamales steaming in a leaf-wrapped bundle. Someone nearby is stoking a small fire with one hand and fanning the smoke away with the other. The coals crackle softly, like old friends whispering secrets. A dog ambles past and flops down with a sigh that speaks for all of us. Asterisk evening has slipped in while you weren't looking. The sky is amber at the edges, deepening to velvet overhead. One by one, stars begin to poke through the fabric of dusk. Shy but certain. They always come back. Asterisk, you stretch, maybe yawn, maybe not. It's hard to tell where your body ends and the earth begins. Everything's a little slower now, and that's perfectly fine. Asterisk, near the main plaza. A small gathering has formed, not formal, just neighbors sharing the end of the day. A young man retells the story of how he fell into the river chasing a monkey. The monkey won. The crowd chuckles. Not surprised, the monkey has a reputation. An elder woman, skin like carved wood and eyes sharp as obsidian, begins to speak. Not loudly, not with fanfare. She just starts, and the hush follows her. She tells the origin story of the maze god, the one who was born from the bones of the underworld and ground into dough to feed the world. Asterisk, it's not just a myth. Here, it's memory. Here, stories are edible. Asterisk, you lean in without moving. Her voice is calm and steady, worn smooth by years of retelling. She speaks of caves as mouths, of mountains as sleeping ancestors, of rivers as veins running through time. Asterisk, you wonder how many times this story has been told. Thousands, probably. More, maybe. And yet here it is, as alive as the stars above. Asterisk speaking. Of stars, one of the boys has climbed halfway up a tree with a smoky torch and a shard of obsidian. He's helping mark a line through the sky for tomorrow's tracking. You don't need telescopes when you have rhythm, when you have memory. Asterisk, the Mayans were obsessed with the heavens, but not in a frantic way. More like attentive, respectful. They watched the stars the way you watch a friend's face while they talk, noticing the shifts and glimmers. Venus is important. So is the Pleiades. But really, it's about movement, about returning. Asterisk, you feel the fire's heat low on your legs. It's a kind heat, not the scorching noon heat. This heat wants to sit with you, share stories, roast a squash. A few dancers begin again, this time slower. Less performance, more prayer. You hear ankle beads again, but now they sound like rain beginning. The rhythm is quiet. Everything is quiet except for the frogs, who are apparently rehearsing for an opera. Asterisk, the elder finishes her story with a sigh and a bite of tamor. There is no applause, only chewing. That's how you know it was good. Asterisk, you wander a bit toward the edge of the village, where the jungle presses close again, soft and listening. You see a pair of lovers tucked into a hammock strung between two ceiba trees. They're not saying anything they don't need to. The stars are doing all the talking now. Asterisk, nearby, a group of boys lie flat on their backs, counting constellations and probably inventing half of them. One points out the one that looks like a jaguar tooth. Another insists there's a turtle. They're both right. Asterisk, you lie down too. Why not? The ground is soft, the air smells of wood smoke and wet leaves, and your eyes are just heavy enough to make blinking feel optional. Asterisk, someone plays a flute in the distance. The notes are irregular, maybe even a bit off-key, but it fits. Perfection. Isn't the goal here? Presence is. Asterisk, the moon begins to rise, slow and deliberate, like someone important entering the room. Everyone notices, but no one says a word. You all just feel it. Asterisk, the scribe from earlier walks past, holding a folded piece of bark paper. He's still muttering about ink consistency, but he pauses to admire the moon, and for once, doesn't complain. The jungle hums in response. Time here doesn't move in lines. It breathes, in, out. You breathe with it. The stars overhead shift slightly, like they're tucking you in. This day has lasted forever, and also no time at all. The Mayans understood that. They didn't measure time just to count it. They measured it to know where they were in it. Like checking the wind or tasting soup. Asterisk, you close your eyes. For real this time, maybe. Asterisk, there's no rush. The night is patient, and so are you. Drift, not fully asleep, not fully awake. Somewhere in between, like a canoe rocking gently on the surface of a black lake. Above you, the stars wheel slowly in their cycles, drawing invisible spirals across the night. The jungle breathes around you, warm and alive, full of life too quiet to name. Asterisk down the path, a soft chanting begins, not loud enough to disturb, just enough to feel. A group of women in white woven tunics move in a circle, scattering flower petals as they walk. This is part of the night offering, one for dreams, one for the crops, one for the moon. Asterisk, they carry clay bowls filled with copal incense. As they pass, you catch the scent, sharp, sweet, ancient. It curls in your nose like memory, like 1,000 nights before this one. Asterisk, you feel your heartbeat slowing to match the rhythm of the chant. Slow, slower, even slower still. Asterisk, someone sets a bowl of warm chocolate near your head. You don't open your eyes, you just smile. They'll understand. Asterisk, a jaguar cries in the distance, not a roar, but a low, rumbling call, somewhere between a warning and a lullaby. The jungle answers with a rustle, and then falls quiet again. Even the frogs pause, just for a moment. Asterisk, the boy with the water jug passes by one last time. He's barefoot now, whispering something to himself. Probably a complaint about chores, or maybe a prayer. Asterisk, the wind shifts, brushing your cheek like a mother's hand. Asterisk, you feel the earth's pulse beneath you, the breath of the temple stones, the old stories woven into every tree. You remember the humming potter, the stubborn scribe, the dancers with seed beads, the beetle that wouldn't stop. They're all here, still circling. Asterisk, nothing in this village moves quickly. Nothing needs to. The gods aren't in a hurry. The stars will wait. The jungle will wait. The stories will wait, so you can sleep. Let go of the day, long and warm and sacred. Let it slip from your shoulders like a loose tunic. Asterisk, you've walked the plazas, sat on temple steps, tasted ash and rain and smoke. You've heard the language of stone, you've counted the stars. That's enough. Now, just rest. Let the soft drums of night carry you deeper. Let the ceiba trees guard your dreams. Let the sky close gently above you, folding your story into the thousands that came before. And sleep, deeply, slowly sleep. Like a stone warmed by the sun. Asterisk, sleep like a god resting between appearances. Asterisk, sleep like time doesn't matter. Because tonight, it doesn't.